Give me a minute. Today is Monday, the 18th of March, 2024, and yesterday the presidential elections in Russia ended. They had 3 days of voting. Yesterday, Sunday, was the last day, which is weird for an American, right, to think of voting on a Sunday. But at any rate, you can see above me here, in Russia and around the world, people lined up. They went to vote specifically at noon to create long lines at the voting places to protest the death of Navalny. He called for this action as a protest event before his death, and his supporters followed through with it. Meanwhile, in Kyiv, Zelensky decried the participation of Ukrainians in the temporarily occupied territories and urged them not to participate in this sham, as he called it. That was awful tough for the Ukrainians in the temporarily occupied territories, and everybody understands why. Joey Contino's video on this subject, showing the video evidence, received a ban so that people can't see what they're doing. As election officials take transparent boxes and ballots house to house in the company of military men with pew-pews who stand there and watch people check the boxes to make sure that they're voting the right way, and then drop their ballots into the clear, transparent boxes so that they can validate that they made the right choices. That's the kind of sham that this election is. And that's why we saw in a double dozen polling places across Russia, on Friday and Saturday in particularly, ballot boxes ruined, destroyed with green ink. Now, I've heard different reasons why the ink was green. Navalny was marked with green ink on his face. Some people are saying it's because of that, and it may be for some folks. Other people are saying it's because the colors of the Ukrainian flag are blue and yellow make green, and so it's also a sign of solidarity with Ukraine. That may be as well. It was not clear to me. There was no unified messaging around why green ink. It may be that green ink is just cheap and readily available in Russia for some particular reason. I don't know. But in more than 24 polling places, ruined. In 29 polling places, they struck a match. Yeah, grandmas walking up to voting. I mean, it was really something. Some of these videos, you can find them on Telegram. There's plenty of them out there if you search the little dark corners of the internet. And of course, in every case, you see the perpetrator being taken down aggressively by the security forces. Of course. So that the election did not exactly go off without a hitch, to a great deal of fanfare and, yay, dear leader, we're going to put you on the throne again for another 6 years, Tzar of the ashes. No, it didn't go that way at all. And then, of course, they couldn't vote in Belgorod at all. A video emerged of the voting places in Belgorod empty. One polling worker showed up. Nobody there, because the town's being shelled, right? And there's an incursion on the soil. Everybody's evacuating. The Russian Revolution 2.0 has begun. Make no mistake. Russia is bursting at the seams. And instead of talking about how we can appease Putin or what a good guy Putin is, what we ought to be doing is thinking about how we're going to help pick up the pieces so China doesn't swoop in and take everything through Siberia up to the Arctic Ocean. Because you can be damn sure they want Vladivostok back. They want it back. They want Northern Manchuria back. They want it back. And then they'd like a little extra. So if we don't want to see this thing turn into a big win for the Chinese, we ought to be thinking about how we can help the native peoples in those places stand on their own 2 feet for the first time in, anywhere from 200 to 500 years of Russian oppression. Let's not make the mistake of letting it turn into another 200 to 500 years of Chinese oppression. For the love of God, people, wake up. Wake up.